Welcome into Pay Dirt Sports. This is Will Dundon here with Nick Truschel and Seth Coggin, Pay Dirt Sports, part of the Six Pack Coverage Network. Guys, not a ton to talk about this episode. Might keep it a little short and sweet, but obviously a lot of things happened over the weekend. We'll kick it off with some NBA playoffs. What'd you think? I don't think we did as a group too well predicting the conference finals matchups.
If you took all our predictions and smashed them kind of together, maybe we would have done a little bit better. But
you took the one right one from each of us.
If you but the individual basis was not good.
Conference finals time, right? We're all evened up now.
It's gonna be good. I just hope honestly, I hope the Warriors win. And much as I hate the Warriors, hey, if we're gonna lose to anybody, I want to lose to the champs.
Nah, I don't care about that. I've never been like, we lost. That doesn't do anything for me. But I don't care. I don't care if the Warriors win necessarily. I think I'd like to see Luka win though. I'm gonna ride with
personally. I'd like to see Luka, but as a Grizzlies fan, I'd like to see the Warriors pull it off. So
see, as a Grizzlies fan, I would absolutely not like to see the Warriors pull it off.
Well, why would we want to see a division rival win a championship?
Well, I mean, it does get a little personal for me too. I mean, I live with some Dallas boys, so we've been cheering on the Mavs pretty hard. We've been right there. They've been there for the Grizz as well. It's back and forth. We were setting up for a really fun in-house Grizzlies versus Mavs showdown. But unfortunately, that kind of can't come to be. I don't know. The Warriors just irritate me in a way that's really hard to describe. It's the fact that they seem to get some favorable calls from the refs. Steph's like everyone's just this wonder boy of the NBA. But really, in all honesty, like he's lost a step. He's not quite as good as he once was. He got saved the other night by Andrew Wiggins. And then one night they were like, oh, Steph scored 10 points to close the game. Yeah, he hit 8 free throws. Like he didn't really do anything that special. Not a big fan of him. They talk a lot. Now they do back it up pretty good. But honestly, not in the last few years. They're kind of a few years removed. They're just very confident, very cocky. I really thought the Grizzlies were the better team in the series. That's kind of what also gets me to it is like, I actually thought pure talent, like skill on skill, team versus team, thought the Grizzlies were a little bit better. That was about as sad of just a thing to watch when they went on that like 15-0 run.
It seemed like the Grizzlies were going to get it.
We were right there with it. Like, right in the game, down 2, down 1, up 1. And then all of a sudden they just hit you with the 15. And that's kind of the Warriors MO.
That's how, yeah.
Like they're going to keep you close. And then, that they're going to hit you with a tough run, near mid fourth quarter it's kind of typically, I feel like when they try to make the move. And they did. They went on a 15-0 run. They just couldn't miss a shot. Like I said, Andrew Wiggins went on a personal 10-0 run. Like he's their fourth or fifth offensive option. Like you can't bank on someone like that going on a 10-0 run. So that was really hard. The Mavs, shout out the Mavs though. Game 7 on the road.
That's as tough as it gets.
Just come out and give them a 30-piece. A 30-piece on the road. How embarrassing for the Suns. Like how Devin Booker's out of elite status. Like you're not an elite player if your team, maybe you'll lose at home even, but like you're at least putting up 35 plus, in a tough loss. Like to go out the way he did, it just is. Does LeBron lose by 30 at home in game 7? Absolutely not. Does Kobe let that happen? Like Devin Booker, you're trying to be on this elite level, and you really are. Your play backs it up for the most part. You're a spectacular player, but then to come out and lay that kind of egg in game 7 at home, that's going to stick on your career forever, for life.
Yeah, and the fact that him and Luka kind of built up this little bit of a kind of personal rivalry, which made it super fun to watch, made the whole series a little bit better. And then it's like Luka just came out and said, hey, I'm the man, basically. I'm going to take over and I'm going to embarrass you. Yeah, and drop a third. I mean, he had 27 at half, I think. And then Luka is kind of I'm not a huge NBA fan. I like to keep up with the Grizz or whatever. And I watch the playoffs, I will. But I feel like Luka is really keeping me kind of in tune with the NBA just because he is this like fascinating player that is just a little bit different. You have to have something kind of unique about you. And obviously the Mavs went from basically Dirk over to Luka, but he's fun to watch. He's this like young, I mean, he's got the Euro style going and everything. But then also when you throw in this kind of trash talk that's been going on and with him and D-Book, like that's what's going to keep people engaged with the NBA is these younger guys kind of developing those personal rivalries. And I'm here for it.
Yeah. Would have been good to see Ja versus Luka. I know Ja's hurt, so probably wouldn't have been playing regardless, which that really is the biggest part about Memphis's playoff run is that didn't get a full healthy Ja and like full effort. You know, the team's not as good without Ja. So would have been fun. But yeah, like you're saying, kind of those young stars, Luka. I mean, it was fun to see Luka versus Booker. That really was fun. And then, yeah, Ja and like Trae Young and them, just like if they can keep these playoff battles going, that's what really elevates. Like Jason Tatum versus Giannis, like was obviously epic. And so those kind of battles are the NBA is very star oriented. So you get these kind of singular stars, especially shining brightest in the postseason. Kind of creates just a lot of attention. It'll be fun. Luka's spectacular to watch. His all around game is just unreal. So that'll be really fun to watch. I hope they pull through to the finals. That'd be crazy. That'd be super fun. Warriors are tough though. Warriors are still like they're deep. That's the thing about the Warriors. This like it's probably not going to be just Steph and Clay like balling out on you, although they do have the capability of that. But like they literally got just dudes everywhere running in off the bench. Jordan Poole's giving you buckets. It's just they're just tough to stop as a unit, which is what makes them so great. But
that's the thing I feel like a lot of people forgot about because the Warriors, even before KD got there and everything, they were such elite shooters that people kind of forgot. They execute very well on offense and everything. Like it is very methodical and drawn up very well.
Oh, yeah.
And I personally, the only thing I don't really like about the Warriors is I don't like Steve Kerr a whole lot. But honestly,
he's been out, right? Sick like the past 3 games.
Did he get COVID or something?
Something like that. Yeah, some kind of. I don't know if it was tracing. It was something COVID related.
Yeah, he bothers me a little bit. And we talked about Seth. I think you talked about the whole like him trying to trash Dylan Brooks or whatever, talking about dirty players.
Like, dude, you have Draymond Green on your team.
Yeah,
you
have a little bit of a
well, and it's like, bro, he played in the 90s. Like he saw actual dirty players happening.
Dude, he played against Bill Laimbeer.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean you broke the code? What is this code? Yeah, try and not end a guy's career. Look, Dylan Brooks is going for the ball. It's a hard foul. Look, I can see how it could have been called a flagrant one. No chance he should have been suspended game 2. I think the Jordan Poole play was dirty on Morant. It looked a little bit worse in slow motion than it did fast, but he did twist the ankle and push the back. I mean, it was as simple as that.
He twisted a guy's knee who was already favoring, and like you just don't like. There's no need to do that.
Yeah. So, and they even were asking Coach Taylor Jenkins after the game, like, do you even think about how the series would have played out if Ja was able to go? And he said, you know what? I'd be lying to myself if I said otherwise. I mean, we got to play with the guys we have available, but I'd be lying if I said otherwise. I wish he was out there, but Kleiman and Robert Pera, the kind of organization of the Grizzlies, the two main guys, said we're in it to win it. From this point forward, there's no tanking. We're looking to surround Ja with more shooters, more stars. Honestly, I don't know if Dylan Brooks is going to be on the team this next year after his horrendous playoff performance, but he makes so many great plays. And like we talk about with Tannehill, it's hard to judge a guy over a 2 or 3 week slump. Like, and Dylan's a key piece of the team, a key leader. So we'll see what happens there. Ja's going to get paid. Jaren's going to have to get paid. Brandon Clark is going to get paid a decent amount. Bane, thank God we're not going to have to pay him for a couple of years or we'd be screwed. Thank God. So, I mean, we do have a 2 to 3 year window here.
What do you think they need to add to make that window even bigger? Maybe not lengthwise, but like make it an even, more.
Well, Jaren Jackson Jr. can't foul out of every single game because he is a guy that when we couldn't play Steven Adams, while he's great defensively, he can't bang down low with those guys and get 12 boards a game like Adams can. And so it seemed to work with the Warriors in small ball, and Jaren played great against the Warriors. So he plays great against the Warriors in small ball. But when they get in that lineup and you throw Jaren Jackson Jr. and you throw Adams together in that lineup, you basically have to force Draymond to come out on Jaren, and then Steven Adams, Kuminga, Wiseman, who hasn't played in 2 years, who's Looney, who's going to be down there banging with big old Steven Adams down low. Adams might have set a playoff record of offensive rebounds in that series. Could he have gone the whole time? So obviously I'm biased, but pissed off about it, but excited about the future. Excited about to see what the Heat and the Celtics can do. Giannis was the first person ever in NBA history, I believe, to have 200 points, 100 rebounds, and 50 assists in a series and lose. So he was putting up numbers that even LeBron couldn't put up. Well, LeBron probably put up those numbers, just didn't lose. So
yeah, he was special in that series, and to still come up short. I mean, it just proves like you cannot be like one singular option. The totality of your parts has to be better. Boston singularly has no Giannis. I mean, Jason Tatum's a great player, but he's no Giannis. I mean, in just the way he can totally control a game. But together they found a way to win in 7 games. So that's just a testament to the team. And I'll be honest, I mean, that's a fun series because Miami's strong. That team is really good, but obviously Boston has done just amazing work to get to the finals. So at that point, it's just let's tip the ball off and let's play 7, see who wins. I think it'll probably go deep. I think it'll probably I bet the first 4 even goes 2-2. I could see just home teams holding face. It seems like that's kind of how series go. It's just kind of feeling each other out, seeing really what matchups we're going to take advantage of. Seemingly the home teams kind of have that advantage the first 4 games or so. And then you kind of get to games 5, 6, 7, when you take all the stuff you've learned from the first couple games, your stars got to step up even a little bit bigger. And then that's really where you determine who moves on. I would pick I'm picking Boston. You know what? I picked Boston to beat Milwaukee and then really wanted to renege on it, but I stayed with Boston and looked like a genius in the end. So yeah, I'm sticking with Boston again, even though I think Miami might be a little bit better, but I'm riding the Celtics. Something about the Celtics and basketball, they have a weird energy that when it's on, it's just like they are lucky. Like maybe it is the luck of the Irish. Yeah, I think that's it. Got to be.
When the Celtics are good, the NBA is fun to watch. When the Celtics, Lakers, Bulls, and Knicks, those 4 teams are good. And Miami, I'll throw that in there. They're fun to watch. I mean, those teams, they're so historic. And Bulls are on their way back. Heat on their way back. Lakers are 1 or 2 probably 1 piece away if they can get rid of Westbrook. I don't know how they're going to be able to with this $44 million contract. And we never even really, I can't remember if we fully got to talk about how LeBron basically denied a DeMar DeRozan signing and specifically requested Westbrook be brought on the team. So could you imagine if a less ball dominant player than like DeMar DeRozan, who's a slasher and a cutter and a mid-range guy who can just flourish in a system like LeBron can put together? Who knows what would happen with that Lakers team?
Yeah, I could definitely see him fitting way better. I mean, obviously hindsight's 2020, but DeMar DeRozan definitely seems like he would have worked in that system. They would have figured it out with him.
Yeah, 100%. Because he's 32 years old and played the best basketball of his career.
Yeah, Trishan, you mentioned all those teams being good. When was the last time? I guess you go back to it was when you had the big three. I guess D Rose was on the Bulls, Kobe was with the Lakers. The Knicks had that. Probably Carmelo was there when they had Carmelo and Amari Stoudemire.
Yeah, J.R. Smith was on that team.
That was a fun little era.
It was. And there was that one year where George Karl, I believe, won Coach of the Year in 2013. They got either the first or second seed in the East, made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Everything seemed to be going right. Don't quote me on this, but I believe Carmelo also won the scoring title that year. Yeah, I mean, it's just fun when those old school rivalries are pumping, and you can say the same thing about college football. I mean, I can't wait until Tennessee and Alabama are competitive again. I can't wait until Nebraska and Oklahoma, which could be coming soon. I mean, that kind of rivalry firing back up, and Auburn, Alabama has been a little shaky, but a little more stagnant than a lot of the rivalries. And then we can talk about Michigan, Ohio State. Finally, Harbaugh taking care of business, and then Tennessee, Florida. Those are the college football matchups I'm most excited about, and a couple of those are looking to flip the script here soon. The trajectories of a couple of those teams have kind of flipped.
Yeah, real quick, Josh Pate was talking about this on his show. He was talking about the third Saturday in October rivalry with Tennessee and Alabama. And I think he was comparing it because there's a chance, both teams are undefeated going into that game. I believe it's in Neyland. Yeah, it will be in Neyland. How insane that atmosphere would be and everything. And then he mentioned, if you're a high school kid, or forget that, if you're a freshman at one of those schools and you hear this chatter about third Saturday in October or this great rivalry between Alabama and Tennessee, you literally have no idea about that. Like at that age, what's it been, 15 years? 16 maybe? Trucial, I mean,
what was it, 06 or 05?
Maybe. Yeah, I guess that's
Tennessee and Arkansas have very similar. 06 was the last time Arkansas beat Alabama.
I want to say
it was 05. No, Arkansas too. 05, because 06 we actually lost to them when we had a really good team. But yeah, we haven't beat them while Saban's we haven't beat Saban Alabama team. Yeah, which is just unbelievable.
I mean, I barely remember Tennessee beating Alabama. I mean, we were kids, right? We were probably, I guess I was around 7 or 8, probably right around when I was actually getting into being interested in watching games and everything. Mm-hmm. I mean, you literally have gone through an entire you've passed through a generation now that has no idea that this rivalry is even a rivalry, really. All they know is it used to be, essentially. So. Yeah. Not a lot to say on it, just something I wanted to point out because I did find it interesting.
Would be nice to kind of get those juices flowing again. Because if Tennessee won, 3 out of 5, or even honestly 2 out of 5 of the next 5, it would get big again. Like Tennessee wins a couple, and it's right back to just all right, we're fired up. Really, what gets that going again is meeting when both teams in the top 15, meeting with actual importance on the line. It's fun to play each other. It's great. We can get up for a game regardless of kind of where we are, but to make it really matter, to make it really dig in and be like a big game with actual emotion on the line, because that's what really makes these games good is the build-up's high, a lot of build-up, a lot of anticipation. The game is really high quality, really good players, really well coached, and big epic finishes. And then it's got to hurt somebody. It's got to hurt somebody pretty bad. And that's just kind of the reality of what makes a big game really important. But, Alabama's got to go home, dejected after playing Tennessee. That's going to happen at some point. And then that's when the feelings of rivalry start coming back, when it's okay, they're kind of, to be a rival, you essentially got to be an equal. You got to be a peer to be a true rival. And Tennessee has not been that to Alabama. No one really has. No one's been a true rival to Alabama, like in terms of on the field success. LSU has had little spurts. Georgia right now is pretty high and really competing at the highest level anyone's kind of done. Auburn does have that. Auburn has had pretty good success against Alabama.
Yeah.
Even though they haven't had as much national success, certainly in the last like 10 years, like Alabama has, they've had enough success on the field versus Alabama, and they're the biggest in-state. That nothing's going to compare to Auburn, Alabama. So that rivalry is kind of intense regardless, but just saying to have a great rivalry, you gotta be equals, you gotta be peers. And so first step is kind of getting back onto that level where you're nationally top 10 every year, nationally top 15 at least, most years and most of the time. And hopefully the Vols can kind of get back to that. That'd be nice.
Be very nice.
Yeah, let's hop into a little we had some Titans rookie minicamp going on this past weekend or on Friday and everything. I will say I got a chance to watch Malik Willis's kind of first presser as a Titan or after practice and everything. I think Malik Willis might be the most likable football player on the planet.
Oh, dude, the whole Tannehill thing, so overblown. And I was one of the guys that jumped on it a little quick, took it out of context. And Malik basically said, like, dude, Ryan's a cool dude. We went over to his house. He took all the offensive rookies over there. And I got no problem with him. His job is he wanted me to know that it's me, Logan, and him competing to make sure this team has the best opportunity to win. Now, that's not to say Ryan isn't going to give him a pointer here and there. That's not to say, hey, let's look at this play and see what we can do better. But it's on the quarterback's coach. It's on the offensive coordinator. It's on the head coach to be the main mentor to Malik Willis. So, I mean, just like you guys have said offline, we've talked to Rodgers, Garoppolo, or even talk to Brady, talk to Rodgers, see how they were dealt with Favre and Drew Bledsoe. I mean, it's the way it is in the NFL.
Yeah, you ain't getting handed nothing.
No,
no one's going to hand you a
everything.
Starting quarterback job in the NFL.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It is encouraging. The quarterback position is a very, very, that would be the face of your franchise. It's kind of a very vocal position and a very with it interior. Yes. Like within the team, obviously, yes, the quarterback is a very leadership position, but really I think I'm talking more kind of exterior, like from to a fan, like a face of the team is your quarterback. And so I think it really is important that he handles himself extremely well. And, he's obviously a great interview and is very positive and kind of has this, I don't know. I haven't watched a ton of it and I'm sure there'll be some ebbs and flows, but certainly comes in with confidence and is very just a kind of there's something you can kind of tell in people, especially in that's an easy way to do it when they're up on stage to kind of grasp that. But they do just have certain kind of leadership qualities that you kind of want to follow a person. And so for a quarterback, such a vital position where that actually does kind of play. You got to get in that huddle and command it every single time, you command the respect from your teammates, but you kind of got to work to command that. So it is very encouraging to kind of see him handle himself with such poise and stuff like that, because that's what being a quarterback in the NFL takes. That, like, it's kind of silly. Like, you would think, just whoever's the best arm, but it just doesn't function like that. You got to handle the media, you got to handle the fans, you got to handle everything, and to do it at a very high level. And he seems very prepared to do that. So let's hope he can be great on the field, because if he's great on the field and can handle himself, then you have a superstar. You know what I mean? Like, then you have someone that's truly a star. So it's encouraging to see. Rookie minicamp is kind of, it's just all the little fluff, they're in shorts and t-shirts running around. My boy Traylon didn't have a first impression, not good. Getting a little overheated, maybe out of shape, maybe something happened, maybe something was up that day. You never really know. It could have had some illness or something going on. You never know. But he bounced back, had 2 other full days, He's going to be fine. Long way for the season. If it becomes it right now, no issue, no big deal, right? If it becomes a pattern or something, or even if it happens again, it's kind of like, okay, what's up with this? If it happens one more time, it's like something to think about. It happens like a couple more times, like, oh, that's a problem. Like, it's issue. But I'm sure he got checked out medically. Like, I don't think it was anything too serious, but not a good impression. Like, I will say, like, yeah, not a big deal. Not a great impression. Like, not your first, like, day one in shorts and t-shirt, your number one receiver. You want them to be just like jumping around, just flying around, catching balls and stuff. So a little unfortunate on that end, but it's exciting. A few Vols making some noise at Rookie Minicamp. Will, you got anything on that?
Yeah, for sure. Real quick, I'm going to touch on what you said. Yeah, I mean, you definitely want your number one, that first round receiver. I remember when Corey Davis got drafted, and obviously solid career in Tennessee. Some people are up and down on him. Obviously, pretty good career, though, if you just look at the stats. But I remember when he was drafted, and that's all they could talk about was the plays he was making on the practice field, everything. So it is, yeah, it's something. I don't think it's a big deal. Like you said, if it happens again, something to worry about. But yes, we did have, I think, Theo Jackson, who was drafted by the Titans, first guy to pick off Malik. So that was kind of cool. Then you had a couple former Vols trying out for the team. Kenneth George was trying out and ended up getting called back. So he's going to be practicing, I guess, this whole week and through training camp until they decide to make cuts. And then also, yes, I sent this to Seth. We had former Vol quarterback Quentin Dormady trying out for the team, which I could not believe. The guy was in college. He was in college for 7 years. I did the math. I think he was in college for 7 years, went from Tennessee. I thought he went to Colorado State maybe after that. Trucial, do you have any idea where he went after that? And then I think he ended up at Central Michigan coming. That's where I think
Eastern Michigan. It's Central, one of the weird Michigans. Yeah. You're correct about that. I'll go ahead and confirm that real quick.
Central Michigan, I believe.
Yeah, but Dormady, man, I guess I don't think he made it. So sad, but man, that was a name.
Yep.
Okay, that was a name. I tell you what, when that guy was coming out of high school, I feel like he was the first. Oh, this is the next Peyton Manning. I think he was the first one to, at least in recent memory. Once we hit the 2010s, I feel like Dormady was the first guy to get that. So cool to see him, if nothing else. But I'm excited, man. I've never been so excited for preseason to get rolling and everything, just with all these young guys we have. It'll be fun to watch. And more on Malik. I mean, the guy was just calm, cool, and collected. And I don't want to say he wasn't professional, because he was, but he was so casual with the media, which is always such a breath of fresh air to hear, because all these media guys, half of them are asking like the dumbest questions. And to hear a guy respond to them kind of in a real manner, like I think Kaharski asked him about going through progressions, and they always will ask you kind of these double questions to slip you up. And he goes, yeah, because I'm sure you didn't we've heard you didn't do a whole lot of that at Liberty. And he straight up was just like, man, I don't know what you've been told, but he's like, that's football, man. That's what I do like my entire life. So cool to hear him kind of.
I love it.
Yeah, I like hearing him fire back a little bit. Something else he
seems comfortable.
Yeah, they asked him about the whole Tannehill comment, and his first response was just like, what comment? And then just like smiles, like jokingly, like he has no problem with it or anything. So the only thing is, as likable as he is, it's going to be that much easier for fans to start calling for him to come in and play, no matter where he's at on the field. Once Tannehill throws that first pick, everyone's going to be calling for him to come in. So we'll see how we have to maneuver our way around that once the time comes.
I think we're more excited for this one because last year just left such a bad taste. It was just, we just want to get on to something new. Like, get back out there and play again.
Heck yeah.
To have your season end like so, just such a bummer, like such a big lead up to nothing. You're just ready to get back out there and let's throw the ball out there and play some more. Should have a good team and a healthy King Henry. New weapons around us. Some old weapons are gone, but you can't think about them. They're not Titans anymore, so pretty much irrelevant.
Let's move on to guys. I sent you this on Twitter, and I'm going to pull it up again. So I was looking at, someone tweeted out basically I think it was WagerNet or some gambling site had started putting out, you could see the times for the week 1 and week 0 games coming up. And at first glance, and no one had even commented this. So that's why I was like, how has no one responded to this yet? And I guess it wasn't like a huge account or anything. But for week 0, the Nebraska Northwestern game in Ireland was listed at 4 a.m. And at first I was like, dang, okay, is that real? Because I know Ireland's like 6 hours ahead of us, but even that doesn't really make sense when you think about it. So I went ahead and clicked on the link that the guy listed, and it says 6 a.m. in Ireland. And that kind of matches up, I guess, if you assume they're going to kick off at noon over in Ireland. But
they wouldn't kick off at noon in Ireland if they knew that was going to be 6 a.m. in the U.S.
That's what I was thinking. So
but that would be awesome.
I don't know why it's listed like that, but I'm all for it if it is at 6 a.m. I think that would be awesome. So we'll see what happens. But
have they not released? All I'm seeing here is the TBD.
Yeah, this is literally only on wagertalk.com.
So probably
that's Teddy Savransky, my dad's old employee. Teddy Covers.
Call him up. Where'd he get his information?
Yeah, where did Teddy Covers get his
he follows me on Twitter out of I think he has 800 followers and 50,000 or he follows 800 people but has 50,000 followers. Nice. So yeah, I could shoot him a DM. Hell, why don't we bring him on one day? I haven't even thought about that, about my dad's old buddies from the handicapping.
His name is Teddy Covers.
Teddy Covers. Well, Teddy Savransky is his real name, but his handicapper name. Because back in the day, gambling was not kind of seen as open, and it's not like it is today. So a lot of the old school guys came up with fake names to put out picks and do that. So Teddy Covers was his old school name, but now he's Teddy Savransky. And runs Wager Talk and runs a lot of Sports Memo, which my dad used to run back in the day. So yeah, I'd you know what? I'll shoot Teddy Covers a DM at some point and see if he'd come on and maybe talk a little game with us, because he's very informed. I can guarantee.
Well, ask him about this, DM him about this game time, because I'd love to know, because it does have, there's one 11 a.m. game. It's Charlotte and Florida Atlantic. There's 3 games at 1 p.m., a game at 2:30 p.m., and a game at 5 p.m. So I'm assuming, I mean, it's not a conflict or anything, because if you're going to have 3 1 p.m. games, I would think you could have multiple at 11 a.m. or something. You know?
I do hope it's at least a breakfast game. Like, I hope maybe not 4 a.m., but like 7 a.m. if I could wake up and have the Huskers in Dublin. I'm also looking up this stadium that they're playing in is sick. I don't know if you've seen any of these pictures of this place in Dublin, but it is amazing. Good. Beautiful stadium here.
I wonder how many people will be there, honestly.
Capacity of 48,000.
Let me take down your question real quick here, Will. What do you want me to get over to Teddy Covers?
Say the week 0 Nebraska versus Northwestern game is listed as a 6 a.m. kickoff. Can you confirm?
Where are you getting these numbers?
Yeah.
Teddy Covers.
Well, I mean, he has his own Sirius XM radio talk show.
Should we just book a few team packages over here to Dublin? Maybe check out week 0.
So let's see. I'm trying to see. Where did he tweet that? Oh, no. Maybe I'm missing it. For some reason, I'm not seeing it.
Ooh, they got golf packages. This, I'm deep. I'm deep in finding out more about this Northwestern
Wager
Huskers
Talk.
game.
Okay. So it might have not been Teddy Covers that put that out. It's just a company that he helps run. So sorry for the misinformation there.
But Teddy Covers is definitely in the know. He knows what's up.
I'll shoot him. I'll shoot him a DM and catch up with him, because it's been way too long either way.
Ooh, we can do the Donegal Dublin Galway. It's 8 nights. You get 1 ticket, and I think you have some golf included here. It's $3,300 a pop.
It's a little steep.
Yeah, it's a little steep. Okay, the golf package is includes 6 nights, a classic game ticket, an exclusive Nebraska welcome experience. That's priceless. And does not include airfare, and it's $4,300 a person.
Dang.
Yep. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty expensive trip to go over here to Dublin.
Yeah, I don't think I could swing that one.
I don't think that one's happening. I do love the Huskers, but that one might be difficult.
I'm interested to see, though, because I remember they've done this before where they'll throw a college football game in Australia or something, right? So basically, I mean, I would think the majority of people there are just going to be Irish people who are fascinated by the game of football and want to come watch it. So I'll be interested to see if that stadium is full or if it's, 20,000 people or something.
Yeah. No, agree.
Yeah, I'm fired up to see how that goes. I think a breakfast game would be so cool.
Huskers week 0 breakfast game, like the first thing of college football of the year is the Huskers in Ireland. Maybe that's where the luck starts. I'm really riding heavy on a strong Huskers season this year. A Big Ten West championship. We'll see. I can't predict after that. That's where my that's where like my crystal ball gets like foggy. It's like I don't know. I don't see a loss. Foggy. No, I don't see a loss or anything. I don't know. After that, it's just fate. But I do see a Big Ten West championship incoming. So a good lucky start in Ireland would be a great way to send off the season.
I love it.
Maybe that really is. I hadn't thought about that. Maybe the Irish win, we get a little Irish luck rubbed off on us. That's what we need.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. But I had someone, this always comes up on Twitter or something, but you talk about what the best time zone is to watch games in and everything. And I do agree. I think the Central is the best because you do get kind of that normal good 11 a.m. start, and then you get to have a game going. The Pac-12 After Dark does go into late at night. But that being said, it would be pretty cool to have games kicking off in Cali at like 9 a.m. or go over to Hawaii and be waking up to college football games.
I'd be a little much because that's just a little too early. I'm thinking Mountain West. I'm a Mountain Time guy. So 10 a.m. kicks. I'm still getting late night action, but not like crazy late. Pretty much my solid schedule for me there. But I just like living on Mountain Time too. So that's just cool. It's just objectively a cooler version. Central Time, that's kind of lame, even though I've lived my whole life in Central Time.
See, I think
Mountain I do quite enjoy it
good too. Because I think 10 a.m. is like, ooh, that's a little earlier, You get, especially if you're an early riser, you don't have to wait as long. And then you're still going into midnight probably with some of those games, Yeah.
I was in LA one time on a Saturday, or like a college football Saturday. I watched Arkansas lose 70-17 to like Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush USC team. Like one of those guys. I was so young, but the one thing that did stick out to me was I woke up and there was college football on television, and that was awesome. I did love that part of that day. Or maybe not quite woke up, but you know what I mean? Like I woke up and almost immediately there was college football starting and the SEC too. But that's the thing too. Like most people who live in Cali don't care about the SEC, but if you did, it would be sick to wake up at 9 and have, Vanderbilt versus Mississippi State just rolling on the SEC network, ready to go.
Yeah, definitely. Do we want to move into, I guess we can start wrapping it up. Trushell, I know you've got a bunch of baseball stuff to talk about. Obviously Tennessee's doing really well. And then you had one, I think you should open it up with the crazy weekend the Cincinnati Reds had.
So this is the first time this has happened since 2008. I want to say the Astros beat the Dodgers, and don't hold me against that. I know the Dodgers won, but I can't remember if it was the Astros or not. But the Reds were able to pitch a no-hitter and lose the game. They didn't give up a single hit. It wasn't through errors. They walked 5 straight batters. Walked 5 straight batters to walk in the game-winning run. I believe, I want to say it was through 7 2/3 innings, something like that. No hitter and a loss.
What do you say in the locker room after that? Like, fellas, we did everything perfect and still lost.
You didn't hit.
Yeah, you didn't hit. That's true.
Every single player that is not in the bullpen is running after that game.
Well, so was it the same pitcher the whole time?
No, they had several pitchers.
So like one guy like pitched a shutout, no hitter.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
That sucks for that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he might have been the guy that gave up some walks, honestly.
I think he did give up the walks. They pulled
and
him.
then the other guy came in and had to walk one in, basically.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
And so
still though, so was it
technically that you can go look at the official rules? You have to pitch 9 innings for it to be a technical no hitter.
Well, it was a team no hitter though. Still.
Yeah, team no hitter.
Like they pitched a no hitter.
So it wasn't specifically on that pitcher. He was not credited with a no hitter because he didn't pitch 9 innings. But yeah, I mean, crazy stuff in the world of sports here.
Was it so? It was 1-0.
Yeah, 1-0.
Okay.
1-0. 1-0. And speaking of baseball, I do want to do a quick update of. So Tennessee is now not the unanimous number 1 team no longer. They are the majority number 1 team, but Oregon State, I want to say, jumped them in. It wasn't D1 baseball. It might have been USA Today. One of those stupid polls. I mean, you can pull from all of them, but the majority had Tennessee at number 1. One poll had Oregon State just because of the strength of schedule. Because if you look at the strength of schedule, which is pretty surprising playing in the SEC, they have Tennessee listed at number 39, yet Vanderbilt listed at number 3.
What is that?
Vanderbilt came and beat the Hogs this weekend too.
So Tennessee's strength of schedule is 39.
Oh. Okay.
Dallas Baptist strength of schedule is number 2.
All these metrics seem just strange. Dallas Baptist isn't playing an SEC schedule. They're not playing weekend series versus SEC teams.
Auburn's good. Arkansas is good. I don't care if Mississippi State and Ole Miss are having down.
They must have a hell of a midweek schedule.
Mississippi State literally won the World Series last year. Like, yeah, they're pretty bad this year, but even then.
I'll list out Dallas Baptist here, their wins. Southeast. Oh, so they lost a series against Southeast Missouri State, lost against Texas Tech, swept Sam Houston, lost against Texas Tech, won the series against San Diego, but lost the game, lost to Oklahoma, swept Southern Miss, lost to Oklahoma State, swept Oral Roberts, beat UT Arlington, won the series against Maryland, but lost one of those games, lost a series to Wofford, swept Missouri State.
That ain't it. I got the summary of the schedule. Is that it? Ain't
Bradley? I mean, how?
Well, so it sounds like they played
Illinois State.
Well, it sounds like there's only 3. Like they played Texas Tech, Oklahoma, and Maryland. Like those are the only.
And they lost to all of them.
Well, but that didn't matter. We're just talking about strength of schedule.
Still, but they're ranked number 4 in the country.
Yeah.
We'll see. That's a good thing about postseason, man. We just got to get in and
it doesn't matter. And it looks like I think last week Oregon State may have gotten some votes, but it looks like Shump tweeted out today that we are back as the unanimous number 1.
Oh, is it? Okay, maybe I was still.
But yeah, no, it was last week we were not.
Yeah.
We'll do a big SEC or a big college baseball primer kind of next week after because we'll have the tournament seedings and everything after next weekend.
Yeah, we should get Shump.
Oh wait, I guess that'll actually be we got one more weekend series and then we'll have the finalized SEC, so we can have like a tournament and then a big NCAA tournament preview kind of deal. But that'll be fun. That's kind of the biggest sports thing in my eyes for the next kind of month or so is college baseball. So it's that time of the year.
It is that time of the year, baby. And I'm fired up about it. I mean, I don't know if I've watched a college baseball game for the first time 2 years ago. I'd say I watched a college look, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a fan of Tennessee, and we've been trashed for a long time. And in 05, I mean, I was watching the Cardinals play baseball. I didn't give a crap about the Vols at the time, but man, I am on the bandwagon. I'm not claiming I've been there the whole time, but boy, you sure as hell will see me riding on the coattails of that bandwagon.
Well, and college baseball is truly a niche sport. Like, you're not finding many diehard college baseball fans unless they do have some sort of at least tradition.
State, Ole Miss, Arkansas, LSU, Texas. Those historic programs, you can find some diehards in, but it's tough to find them anywhere else.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, anything else we want to cover before we close it out?
Trying to think here if we got anything else going on. Why don't we talk a little Stanley Cup hockey minute before we go? I know the Preds are gone, which sucks, but we can give a quick update there. So we're in the second round here. Number 1 Florida Panthers versus number 3 Tampa Bay Lightning. Look, I don't want Tampa Bay to repeat, so I'm all on Florida here. It's going to be – we got a lot ahead of us. The Blues and the Avs can both score goals like absolute maniacs. Calgary, Edmonton score goals. I'm excited. And the Preds are out. I'm not the biggest hockey fan, but I love watching playoff hockey. Like, playoff hockey to me is one of the most fun things that there is to watch, just because of the physicality of the game. And you talk about playoff football, the physicality of the game there, and how much they kick it up, how much they're ready to go. So I'm really just excited about that.
Give me a Game 7 playoff hockey over about anything. That is just intense.
It's intense. It's intense as it gets. So
the refs let the boys play too in hockey.
They do.
That's what's nice, especially in the playoffs.
And I wish in baseball they would let the pitcher, if he beans somebody, go let him charge him out for 20 seconds. Let him duke it out. Keep everybody in the bullpens back. Let them duke it out for a second. Let the bullpens go. Give the bullpens 10 seconds to get their licks in, and then we shut it down. That's what I would love if happened in baseball, and electronic strike zones. Angel Hernandez, you're a scumbag. Go on.
It has turned into the show this year.
It really has.
It's bad. I mean, part of it's social media, right? I mean, but I mean, we've had social media for a few years now. Like, this year, it is definitely worse.
Yeah, it's worse. So, I mean, regular season, maybe you keep the umps. I kind of like that as part of the game, but playoffs, you got to get the call right. Like, put an electronic strike zone. We can see the box on the TV. I know you can do it.
You could still have the ump. He can but he would be like calling, like, give him some sort of device that's like, hey, that was a strike. Hey, that was a ball. So he can call him, but he's not making the decision.
I agree. Well, that's all the griping that I had to get out here at the end of this episode. It was a pleasure. Short one as we're kind of working through the last of the sports here. We've got a little bit of NBA left. We've got a little bit of hockey left, and then it's on to baseball. And then it's on to
off-season Kool-Aid.
Yeah, all-season Kool-Aid. Drinking it all summer long, baby.
Yep, I can't wait for that. Guys, thanks again for listening. This has been Pay Dirt Sports, part of the Six Pack Coverage Network. Be sure to check them out, sixpackcoverage.com. Check them out on social media at Six Pack Coverage. Check us out, Twitter at paydirt_sports, Instagram at paydirtsports. Look at the website, paydirtsports.blog. Guys, thanks again for listening, and we will see y'all next week.
Pay Dirt out.